Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another Super Series Tuesday. For today, we will be wrapping up the Jurassic franchise with Jurassic World. Jurassic World was released in 2015 and was once again not directed by Steven Spielberg, but in fact was directed by Colin Trevorrow this time around and stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Vincent D'Onofrio. The story this time around is actually quite simple, but I really like it. It takes place 22 years after the original film, but it is on the same island as the first movie with a brand new park done and reopened, and it takes place a few years after the park has been reopened, this time now titled Jurassic World. And since it's been open for a few years, people are beginning to get a little bored with dinosaurs, so the scientists in the lab of Jurassic World decide to cook up a brand new dinosaur. Yeah, they make their own dinosaur through genetic splicing called the Indominus Rex. Long story short, yeah, it's a bloodthirsty monster and it breaks out, and now we have a movie. First and foremost, in the positives, Chris Pratt. Yeah, I love Chris Pratt. I'm not even gonna hide it. I think he's an absolutely fantastic actor. I love him in pretty much everything he does. He is charismatic, he is funny, and he just seems like one of the most likable people you could ever meet. Next is the CGI in this movie is great. You know, I would prefer the practical because it's the first movie that goes pretty much full-blown CGI. I don't know if I actually saw any practical in this movie at all. There might have been a little bit of it, but you know, seeing how it was 2015, the CGI isn't bad at all whatsoever like it was in the other ones, the early 90s and early 2000s. And it's definitely, since it's 2015, as polished as it could have been, and it definitely still holds up today, obviously only 3 years later. But yeah, the CGI looks fantastic. The dinosaurs don't necessarily look and feel as real as they did in the original ones, but CGI is the way of the world now, and it is definitely beautiful looking in this movie. Next is the cinematography. The cinematography in this movie is absolutely breathtaking. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. I know I threw that word around a lot, but I only say it when I really mean it, and it is true to this movie, guys. A lot of these just amazing wide shots of just the park, or just the tree line, or the dinosaurs, or everything and anything. Almost every single shot in this movie is fantastic and very, very well done. And it is by far the best cinematography in this franchise since the first movie, because it gave me like the same feels that I got from the first movie. And also paired with that is the composer. Now, again, it is not John Williams once again, which does suck. But this guy, although he kind of copies John Williams' score a little bit, he also really does definitely make his own. And with that, paired with the beautiful cinematography, they really come together to give you the same feeling that you got. The feeling that I get from watching this movie is the way that I imagine that people felt when they first saw the first movie. Next is the two brothers in this movie. There's an older guy who's probably like 18, 19, 20, and then a younger guy who I'd say is probably 10 or 11. They feel like real brothers. I know what it's like. I have siblings also who are much younger than me. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and they honestly made me feel just like the way I feel at home. Like, I get that same vibe from them. They bicker all the time in the beginning. They're not very close because there's a bit of an age gap, and it's the same thing with me and my siblings. But as the movie gets on, when times get tough, they stick together. They really hammer home the message that family is forever, that brothers have to look out for each other, and I definitely commend them for that. Next is the Raptors in this movie. The Raptors, you have Delta, Echo, Charlie, and Blue. Yes, there are only 4 of them, and they have their own names, but they also feel like their own distinct characters. They have their own unique personalities, and the bond that they have with Chris Pratt, I would say it is like dog and dog trainer, but since they're a little more vicious than dogs, I'd say it's more so like lion and lion tamer. But yeah, the bond feels genuine. It feels real. It feels like these animals actually have like a respect for Chris Pratt in a sense. They definitely trust him, and he trusts and loves them as if they were his own pets. So that, for me, they did a fantastic job on portraying that, and it was really, really well done. Next is this movie feels like a real park. In this movie, there are crowds upon crowds of people, and it feels just like a Disney park. Like I said, there are crowds of people, there are little shops, there are like restaurants, there are long lines, there's workers, there's like mascots, there's everything that you would see at a regular Disney park. So they did a magnificent job on portraying that it definitely looked and felt like a real park. Two things in this movie that felt super realistic to me, and that is the splicing of the dinosaurs and the trying to turn dinosaurs into weapons. So like I said, first, I feel like that would happen. Although I can't really see me getting bored of dinosaurs, I feel like people would get bored of dinosaurs, and like they say in this movie, their numbers spike every time they release a new attraction. So of course they go and create their own dinosaur, and I feel like that would definitely happen in today's world. If we had the ability to recreate dinosaurs, we would definitely try to splice things up and make some sort of abomination. And next is, yes, there is a group in this movie that tries to turn dinosaurs into military weapons. They want to use them, put them in the field, put guns on their head, put cameras on them, take them, whatever. But either way, I feel like that would definitely happen for sure in today's world. Like, you know, everything is just militarized, so why would dinosaurs be any different? And last, guys, is once again, it is a callback to the first movie, but it is the first time in the Jurassic franchise since the first that I have felt that it has showed both sides of the dinosaurs. You have one side that they are animals, and if you care for them and treat them properly, they are just like animals. It's like a petting zoo. They have like the little kids riding the little baby Triceratops, but you know, the Triceratops loves it, and they're all like smiley as a dinosaur could be, and then, you know, they're feeding them and they're gentle with them. And then you have the flip side, like the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex alongside the raptors. If you piss them off, yeah, they can be real vicious, bloodthirsty monsters. And now for the negatives, guys. This movie is insanely predictable. I remember sitting in the theater and calling every single thing that was going to happen in this movie, and that was my biggest complaint when I left the movie theater 3 years ago. And to me, that is a huge negative. I like to be surprised, I like to be shocked, I like to be wowed, and in this movie it definitely didn't do it for me. Next is there are a lot of really cheesy things in this. There's a lot of just one-liners and forced jokes and things that are supposed to make you laugh that really don't. There's just things like it'll just zoom in on Chris Pratt and throw this terrible pun at you, just be like, camera, and then Chris Pratt's just like, she's hungry. And it's just really annoying. Just cheesy, stupid stuff like that doesn't need to be in the movie. Just please take it, throw it out. Let's stay grounded, folks, because that stuff just, it pulls me right out of the moment and it annoys me to death. And next is there are so many horrible decisions made in this movie, just so many stupid, poor decisions that characters make that I do not believe that anybody in real life in their right mind would ever make these decisions. The only reason that these decisions get made is because the characters are written that way. But like I said, I feel like people in this real scenario, I know me or anyone that I know, we wouldn't make half of these dumb decisions that the people make in this movie. And that, again, just really bothered me because I'm like, why in the world would you ever do that? So guys, final thoughts are that this movie is the most reminiscent of the first movie for me. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say I enjoyed it the most since the first movie, because you'll have to check out my ranking video. Like I said, the cinematography paired with the score of this movie and just the way the whole movie is set up at the park again and everything, it definitely gave me the feels like the first movie did. I really enjoyed it. And believe it or not, guys, I actually enjoyed watching it this time that I just rewatched it more than any other time I watched it for some reason. I don't know if it's because maybe I just kind of went in with a new mindset, or if I went in with like a clean slate, or I expected something different, or maybe it's just because I finished watching Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park The Lost World right before it. But either way, I enjoyed it more this time than I did any other time I watched it. To summarize, guys, the positives of this movie: Chris Pratt, don't need to say anymore, the CGI is great, the cinematography and the score are fantastic, the brothers in this movie feel like real brothers, I love the raptors in this movie, it feels like a real life theme park. I definitely feel like in today's world we would be splicing dinosaurs and creating new dinosaurs, and people would definitely try to turn the dinosaurs into real military weapons. And again, since the first movie, it brings back the showing both sides of the dinosaurs. The negatives, very quickly, are it's super insanely predictable. There's a lot of really dumb cheesy stuff in this movie, and the characters make such poor decisions that I could just not help but shake my head. So with all that being said, guys, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives in this movie, and I'm going to give Jurassic World an 8 out of 10. As always, guys, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, do you think Jurassic World was the sequel that we finally deserved? And as always, folks, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.